From an unstoppable storm of fire and ice doing 51,000 damage in 10 seconds, to a holy blitz of jumping death, dealing just as much with a euphoria twist. Today I bring you quite the selection of builds to choose from. Hello, my fellow Tarnished. I hope you are enjoying your, various playthroughs of both Elden Ring and now Shadow of the Erdtree, and I'm hoping that you can enjoy them just a little bit more after what I have to share today. I would be surprised if at least one of these doesn't spark your interest, and believe me when I say all of them make for a phenomenal experience. We've got power, we've got unique combos, we've got some high skill ceilings that when you master it, make you feel like an absolute untouchable badass, and plenty of legendary new weapons pushed to their maximum too. So, without further ado, let's get into it with Beast Claws pushed to their limit. Yes, using 2 pairs of them, though you don't have to take advantage of both unique to Beast Claws Ashes of War, the main reason to play them. You have one in Savage Beast that pumps out damage in a rapid 6-hit combo. You can cancel it after 4 to dodge early, which is a lovely bit of utility, and when paired with heavy blood-flamed up super bleed, you get some ridiculous numbers ridiculously quickly. But then let's not forget about Raging Beast, a iframe giving dash that then afterwards puts you in position for some meaty follow-up heavy attacks. These together give you so many options for any given situation, coupled with the natural moveset of the Beast Claws themselves consistently ducking and weaving under boss attacks. It's actually quite phenomenal. And this one then is the most simple of today's builds to put together because, as I say, it is just Beast Claws to the limit. 2 pairs of them, one of each Ash of War on heavy. Your talismans, as you may expect, are Alexander's, Bloodlords, Rotten Winged, and Millie's Prosthesis. If you want to min-max your armor, Rakshasa and your White Mask. A seal for your buffs, the stats as you can see, and for your Wondrous Thorny, and then it's up to you. Coming up next then is the Sword of Light and the Sword of Darkness. 2 new legendary weapons that everyone knows are great for their ashes in that they buff you. The Sword of Light in particular, 20% more holy damage to, weave into any other given holy damage dealing build. The Sword of Darkness to debuff enemies and lowering their holy resistance, but I feel like using them as your actual method of killing things has been really underestimated. And as you can see, it really shouldn't have been, because it's bloody fantastic. The Power Stance Straight Sword moveset is phenomenal, a lot of hits very quickly which play into all of the multi-hit boosts, but then the raw actual holy damage being pumped out by these things, both in the Ash, which can chunk for like 8k a pop from Sword of Darkness, and just the raw hits as you swing and swing, is kinda ludicrous. This initially started out as, this'll be a fun thematic build, right? Combining the swords of light and dark, we'll see where it takes us, throw in a few incantations, and that's all great. And then the reality was, oh wow, this actually does monstrous damage, it's incredibly fun to play, it looks badass. Yeah, no, this is a build in its entirety, and we need to show everyone this right now. So I am very happy to be showing you it all again right now. So you want said Sword of Light in your left hand and pre-buff with it before going into a fight, Sword of Darkness in your right. I realize getting both in one playthrough is impossible by yourself, but there is plenty of ways to get it dropped for you, including our Discord, where people will be happy to, and that's down in the description below. Then the best seal for the amount of faith that you have pumped into it, the stats that we have are there, and for your talismans then, your Holy Scorpion, your Alexander, and your Rotten Winged, coupled with Millie's Prosthesis. After that, it's Rakshasas for your full min-max, holy damage, and Thorny in your Wondrous. Then we move to something that has really been tipped over the edge by the DLC. Zamor Ice Storm from the Curved Sword. Now, the superior option to the sorcery, as in the DLC, bosses are way too fast and hard-hitting to reliably cast the much longer animation sorcery, and you can get off 3 Zamors in the time it takes you to cast the sorcery twice. The sorcery does about 10% more damage, but DPS-wise, it certainly loses out. And the sword gets boosted now by the new Divine Beast Talisman and indeed the Divine Beast Helmet, which yes does apply to the sorcery, but before the sorcery had the Frost Witch hat, whereas the weapon had nothing, so it has gained there with the helmet. The point is though, we have this incredibly powerful over 600 frostbite per use building skill that means that every single time you use it, you are going to get at least 1, potentially 2 full build-ups of frostbite. Now that would be wasted if we weren't doing a rare bit of fire resetting thanks to Flame Deadly Sin being our body buff, which makes it passively automatically pulse out fire damage, instantly resetting frost mid-storm so the next one can start building. Normally doing a fire frost reset just gives you a worse bleed build and eliminates the biggest strength of frost, which is it making the enemy just take 20% more damage. However, in this instance, it is much higher DPS to actually be resetting, as you get much more out of doing 7% of the boss's health, the frostbite proc, per cast than you do about making the cast themselves do 20% more damage. The long and short of it is, as you've been seeing, you can just spam this and melt a boss before they even know what's happening. It is so much fun to be this flaming lion in the middle of this icy tornado that nothing can stand against. And if that sounds like something you're into, well then you want the Zamor Curved Sword, a seal in your offhand, doesn't matter which, and indeed a random glintstone staff, also doesn't matter which. The lion helmet along with Rakshasas, and then your lion talisman, your Alexander's, your magic scorpion, and then it is up to you. Magic damage, and then again up to you and your wondrous physic, and simply fully buff up, apply everything, get your Terra Magica down, and spam that storm till your heart's content. The stats are there as you can see. Then we move to the backhand blades, and the backhand blades, and the backhand blades. Yes, this is using 3 pairs of them. Now, you don't, of course, need to go to this extreme, but it is a fun concept taken to, as I just said, the extreme. That extreme being that, technically speaking, if you power stance 2 copies of even a paired weapon instead of using them as paired, you will do more status build-up. So, a bloodied up backhand blade left hand, a bloodied up backhand blade right hand for 4 blades constantly on your person, 2 in your hand, 2 in your hips, which is an awesome General Grievous-esque look, is the way to go for maximum bleedage. But we don't stop there. We have yet another pair of the blades, this time set to Frost, that you initially use with Swift Slash, which does apply status ridiculously well, as every single one of the bonus slashes also applies the status. So we Swift Slash it up, get the frostbite on, swap to 2 pairs of blood backhand blades with even more Swift Slash action happening, while also a bit of Cragblade is in there because we might as well buff the left one, and as you can see, we end up in a ridiculously both fun, powerful, and cool position to be in. I really enjoy this, and cannot express enough how much you will too. So for this, in your right hand, you want 1 backhand blade set to Frost with Swift Slash, and then you want a second set to Blood with Swift Slash. Your left wants to be Blood on Cragblade, and just get that on the weapon before the fight. You'll enter the fight with Blood Cragblade on your left, Frost Swift Slash on your right, use the Ash so you get the Frostbite, then switch to Blood Swift Slash on your right, and now you can go to town with the Power Stance moveset while not technically using them as paired. You want yourselves the usual Blood setup that you can imagine, Exaltation, White Mask, and so on, the usual buffs and the stat spread as you can see. Then I have saved something very special for last. Finally, Euphoria in a build, though admittedly it's not about the Ash of War, it's about combining it with the Black Steel Twin Blade, pushing holy damage to its absolute maximum, which is really awesome, as holy damage is kind of the, ugly duckling of the damage types when it comes to Elden Ring, but as you're already seeing, it has certainly become the beautiful swan. Jumping, multi-hitting, radiance blasting down on literally everything you use it against. It is comical how easy this makes the game. The sheer damage every time you jump, ramping and ramping and ramping. And look, you know the deal here. You know the jumping talisman, the raptor feathers, or the new gravebird ones. You know the multi-hits, millies and rottens building up. You've seen it with bleed and scavengers, curved swords and such, but there is something really special and fun about doing it with two radiantly glowing faith sticks that just do almost as much damage in a very, very cool way that does give you that option, that potential for the ridiculous beam of Euphoria itself when that does go off. So all in all, I really cannot recommend this one enough. From both power, flavor, and fun to play, it's hard to think of many builds that actually do get better than this. I still dearly hope that Euphoria does receive a buff, ideally easier charging and poise on the Ash itself, so we can really make a dedicated blaster of it, but for now, just having it appear with its incredibly solid faith-based AR is really lovely indeed. Not that I want it to take away from Black Steel, the best infusible new Twin Blade, rocking its damage in the left hand, with Sacred Blade taking its holy damage to absurd heights. So, if these absurd heights are ones you aspire to, well, then this is what you need to do. Euphoria in your right, the Black Steel Twin Blade with Sacred Blade set to Holy in your left. Stats, as you might imagine they are, spread like this. Sword of Light for that 20% holy body buff somewhere on your person. Use it before the fight. You want Rakshasa everywhere but chest, where it's one of the jumping attack armors. The Claw Talisman, the Holy Scorpion, Rotten, Winged, then Millie's Prosthesis, and in your Wondrous Physic, Holy Damage and Thorny Barbed. Then simply jump attack to your heart's content and enjoy the absurd results. Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have enjoyed this latest and greatest collection of death-dealing options, and I hope at least one of them has indeed sparked your interest, as it means a lot that you all like what we come up with here, and I really do love build theory crafting, and it's just so awesome that I get to do it so much for you guys. For now then, like if you've enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell for more, consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below so we can keep doing what we do, and until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.